Okay, hello everyone. I'm Matthias from H4x0rPsch0rr, and we talk about Guess the Flag. It's a by no means comprehensive list of the worst CTF challenges we encountered from 2013 until now. There are pretty recent challenges involved. Yeah. A quick outline, we have something to say about QR code challenges. Who knows the challenge world art? Okay, one guy knows it. Who likes reckon challenges? Another guy. Does anyone remember Tyrannosaurus Hex? Or does anyone remember the DCTF? Or the SCP hack? Yeah, I think let's start with the QR code challenges. Basically, you had one in Volga CTF 2015. It was the homework challenge. There was a QR code which was cut in pieces and left on a table. And then you've got a sloppy photograph of it. And yeah, you had to print it out and piece it together and stick it together. And yeah, then repaint the whole thing in Paint or GIMP or Photoshop or whatever graphic tool you like, because otherwise 99% of the readers don't read it. We also had a burned QR code found. I think it was the Vector CTF 2013, the forensic 150. But there are also challenges with missing parts, but it all ends up in the same. You paint it in GIMP or whatever, and then you have to read the QR code manually if it is too broken. Yeah, so we have a little bit experimented and had a scoring system made up. And we give minus points for each WTF we think it's in this challenge. And QR codes, repainting them, it's a boring task, to say the least. For huge QR codes, it could take 3 hours, 5 hours. I once worked 6 hours on it, because when you start only seeing black and white and everything in black and white pixels, you know you had to take a break. And the rest of the challenge is almost ever trivial, so that's another minus 5 points. So we get an overall score of minus 15. World art. So it was in the Volga CTF course 2015. It could have been a really, really cool challenge. It could. It was in a joy category, but it wasn't any joy. And we got 9 pictures of different places in the world, and we had to reverse engineer the location where they were taken. They were all taken they were all screen captures from Street View, from Google Street View, and so you had just to find a place and read the street name, we thought. Working out the street names wasn't fun. It really wasn't fun, because most of them were ambiguous. They were taken from road crossings, and the actual street name displayed depended on from which street you came to this crossing, which has nothing to do with how do you tilt your view so you get the photo. That led to about 250 possible flags. I was in the IRC for the CTF, and some people said they wrote the brute forcer to just brute force all possibilities, and somehow got the flag then right, and they still don't know the flag today. And there was one special picture, I remember. It was with the Buran. I think, yeah, I'll talk about that later. Because there was the street name on Google Street View wasn't right there. Yeah, I have this image, I will explain it later. And what the organs also don't said in the description, but later in the IRC. So if you weren't in the IRC, you just didn't get this info, because they also didn't update it. You had to exclude everything that translates to street, road, or place, or something like this. So this was one of the pictures. It is actually from Barcelona, and it is at a road crossing. You have here a road and there a road, and this I don't know what this is exactly called, because you have this road, and then this place, each with different names. And if you came from this side, you get the place name. If you get from this side to this place, you get the street name of this road. And if you came from this place, you get the street name of this road. Really fun. Yeah, and this was the picture with the Buran on it. You actually can see it was made from Street View, because here it says Google. Who can read this Google here? Let's play CSI Miami. I have enhanced it. It's clearly taken from Street View, but they didn't want you to take the Street View name, because this is on a university campus, and this university campus has an own map with a street name for this street, which you can see here. Another time, the instructions were really, really ambiguous. So, scoring. Yeah, the challenge can't be solved without help from the augurs. -100 points. And the challenge description was wrong and incomplete. -300 points. That leads us to a total score of -400 points. Yeah. Then Recon 100. It was from the Volga CTF 2013, and I'd like to recap the original description. Good afternoon, recruit. Welcome to Privacy Department. We work closely with all mega corporations and try to help them to save trade secrets. As you can see, we have a lot of work because some people can't keep their mouths shut. Could you help the department and find evidences against targets that will give you? That's a bargain. Then here's your fight's first objective, Elton Badgett. These men wants to disclose the name of a secret project. Try to find the leak. So what's the first thing you do when you got something like this? Of course, you Google the name. And you find his LinkedIn. And then you read his also knows about section. And then you do what every sane people would do. You read the initials. And there's your flag. Enough said. So it's plain guessing. -336 points. And because it's Recon, it gets a Recon penalty of -1001 points. So we get an overall score of -1337 points. Next challenge, Tyrannosaurus Hex. The original description is also included here because it's just hilarious. The contents of the flash drive appear to be password protected. On the back of the flash drive, you see the hexadecimal numbers 0x95 F4H8ED9 is scribbled in ink. The password prompt, however, only accepts decimal numbers. What number should you enter? So, does anyone guess which number should be entered? It's solvable in your brain. You just have to be good in maths, which I am not. They even gave you a hint. We should try asking Google or Wolfram Alpha. So what happens if we just type a hexadecimal number in Google? This seems easy. Well, we didn't use Google, we used shell prompt, but anyway, we got a flag. It was just a decimal representation. So, it wasn't advertised as a sanity check, but instead of a MISC challenge for like 10 points or something. And they give you the flag for free. And it was solved with a brainless one-liner. So, for giving you the flag, we just -1,234 points. And for the one-liner, -2,345 points. So that gives us a total score of -3,597. I think we should stay at the DCTF and turn to another challenge, the MISC 200. And we should prove that every bipartite polyhedral graph with 3 edges per vertex has a Hamiltonian cycle. So that sounds interesting if you're good with maths. I am not. So first thing, I Google. And Googling leads me to Wikipedia, which said it's an unsolved problem. So we should solve it. Give me a research team in 5 years. If anyone knows the related XKCD, yeah. Research team in 5 years, minus 4,045 points. And again, for playing guessing, because the flag was unsolved problem, we award them with another minus 666 points, which give an overall score of minus 4,711 points. And then my personal favorite, the SCP hack. This was from the Seesaw 2013. I think we spent a good 28 hours or something on this. Yeah. I think many of you guys from Dragon Sector actually remember it because you have a really good write-up on this. Okay, the SCP organization wants you to join and see if you can take advantage of their intern sloppy coding and outdated browser. We should have seen the red flag, but we took them by the words and thought, okay, outdated browser, well, sloppy coding, yeah. And we were greeted by this. And, we had to do a proxy challenge. This screenshot was taken after the organizers lowered the required flags from 7 to 5. But originally, you had to visit with this code the site from 7 different countries. One of them was the Netherlands and Antilles. Does anyone know where the Netherlands Antilles, I can't even speak that out, where they are? Apparently not. So how hard could it be to find a proxy there? It turned out it was impossible. And the only Tor exit node in this thing went down during the contest, so yeah. So we had 5 flags after 4 hours of Googling and writing scripts for automatic proxy filter searching, and yeah. We got to see the actual challenge. We could upload a certificate signing request, and if we put a link in the common name, it would be visited by something claiming to be MS Internet Explorer 7b, which was actually from unpatched release to manufacturing Windows Vista box. I had set up one for this challenge, specifically for this challenge. It lives still today, it is still unpatched, and I believe there are at least 5 rootkits on it because I used it for many, many CTFs more. So I should clean it, I think. So remember, this is a pwning task. It was exploitation 500. And why don't try we one of the many, many exploits available for Windows Vista and for such an outdated browser? They worked all on my local host, all of them. But once we tried, we piped them into the challenge, nothing worked. So yeah, it's pretty obvious this isn't Vista, this isn't Internet Explorer. Without too many details, because if you want to go know the details of this challenge, read the write-up from Dragon Sector. You can find it in Google or the search engine of your choice. You had to rename your computer to Helium and assign it a public IP or just port forwarding it, and then give it a domain name with the subdomain helium.sandbox.whatever, and just capture the thing in Wireshark, and everything will do by itself, because it was probably some just curl pretending to be Internet Explorer, and curl knows file, and file has Samba, and Samba has credentials. So, scoring. This won't end well. Still, today I'm thinking, what the hell were they thinking when they introduced this proxy barrier? Have you ever tried finding a proxy in the Netherlands until you mind? Yeah, of course you tried because you played this challenge, but yeah. That gave them minus 3,762 points. And has anyone read the MSDN docs to file protocol in Internet Explorer 7? I presume not, so I'll spoil it for you. It barely works, and only if you if you open the file, if you open something that has file, you can with command prompt or whatever, but you can only visit links and embed resources if the page you visit also already has the protocol file and you're in the right zone. And since I don't got this zone concept, you just have to look it up in the MSDN. So that gave them another minus 2,742 points. And the third and last point, and the most important point, exploitation, my ass. I have to say this drastically because this wasn't an exploitation task, it was barely a networking task. And if it would have been in MISC or something, I think more teams would have solved it. It was in the end solved by 2 or 3 teams. I don't remember actually. So we award them another minus 2,479 points, which gave a final score of minus 9,001 point. So this was the worst challenge we encountered in about 2 years of CTF. Thanks for keeping this calm. I would have expected more laughter, but yeah, thanks. Any questions?
Anyone, any questions? Maybe any comments on your worst task? Okay, then one comment from my side. Did you play the CTF where they had this like 8 pictures from a random family trip in the States and you had to guess the name of the city with where the camera was stolen? Yeah, I hear the cries, but somebody knows it. Yeah, like 8 pictures without any content on them, like random mountains, random cars, without the license plates, of course, like random trees and random llama farm. And guess the name of the city. It was like, yeah, I don't know how you guessed it.
It wasn't like that. It was like that there was some cars, and it's in the plate from California. So at least you know where you are in the United States.
Yeah.
And I saw the how much kilometers they do per day because it was like in the car. So I point every farm of llamas in the California state.
Yeah, but it was in Utah, right? In the end.
The llama farms.
That's true, but it was in Utah. That was the trick.
Was it a geocoded?
No. You just get like plain no metadata pictures. It was, yeah, it would probably beat this task in my opinion. Okay, anyway, thank you for the presentation. And I guess let's do a 5-minute break and I think we have one last talk. Thank you.